Well, gentlemen, it's been, I don't know how many days, it's almost been weeks since we've come back to record, and it's been for good reason. It's been a long recovery, but it's been a sensational one. Bards.
Why are you so flat, Grant? We've just won a premiership, for God's sake. Get pumped up, come on.
How good was that, Bards?
That's better. Win a premiers, again.
11 times, Bards.
And most of them in our lifetime. 6 decades. We've got one in every decade. How good's that?
How good are we, Bards?
We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
What do you think, Adam?
Too hungover.
I got a hangover. Whoa, I've been drinking too much for sure. I got a hangover. Whoa, I got an empty cup. Pour me some more.
Too hungover, you went home early.
Premiership number 11, boys. How good was that?
Just to beat the pressure that Fremantle were going to bring. Well, they were a bit surprised when the other team had it as well, I think. It won't go down as one of the great matches of football, but it will in our history because we won a flag.
Yeah, Mark McClure said it best before the grand final. A couple of days before the grand final, he said that it'd be a catastrophe for the AFL if Fremantle won because you'd have 17 other coaches implementing that bullshit game plan, which came undone grand final day.
It does. What's a game plan? It involves just being close enough so you can have a crack at some stage.
Yeah.
Stop the score and keep it low so you never more than a few goals out of it.
When the winning side kicks 11 goals on a pretty good day for footy, that's got to tell you something as the losing team, as the losing coach particularly, and this is Ross Lyon's third crack at it now, and 3 times he's gone in with that bullshit game plan, and 3 times it's come unstuck, and I don't give a rat's ass because we got premiership number 11.
Bards, you better remind us of the score, because it was a good one.
The score, 11-11-77, Hawthorn defeating Fremantle 8-14-62.
And the number 19 is back where he belongs as the chief goal kicker in the team.
How good was that? Mr. Gunston. I was going to call him Gunston, but he's earned his own name now, so we're going to stick with Gunston. Gunston 4 goals, Roughhead 2, Franklin, Rioli, Smith, Bruce and Hill 1 each.
Which was the best goal out of that 11, Adam?
So I thought Isaac Smith's from 55 early in the last quarter when somebody had to step up and put a mark on the game. The young fella stepped up, and I think that'll be the making of Smith as a bona fide star in this competition.
He missed a set shot earlier, and this time round he threw the arms out before the ball had crossed the 50. I think it was that early in the celebration. He knew it was going through. Goal I really liked, other than that one, was Gunston's last goal. I think it was in the third quarter when he spilt the mark in the contest in the square, chased after it, slid behind it, blocked it from going through for a point, and then basically off a knee stood up and swung it around the post for a goal. And that's when Freo were coming, and it gave us that buffer again, and that made a long way to us winning the game.
Yeah.
I like both of those, but the one I liked was when Hill got it in the fourth quarter and slammed it straight through.
Because that was the game.
That was when we knew we were home.
I must admit, Bruce got in the last quarter too, and we received a lovely hit out from Sandlin straight down to him for a goal.
Bards, did you have Valentine in Hawthorn's best?
Well, you're trying to preempt my votes there, Adam.
He must have got votes, mate.
I did slide him in for the single vote at the end, I must admit, but I think that may contravene the Bardslow rule, so I might have to dump him again now you've brought it up.
All right, well, what were those votes, Bards? Were you in agreement with the members of the panel for the Norm Smith, or did you diverge?
I've gone with the Norm Smith votes, mainly because it was an area that we were so lacking in last year. So what Lake did in that game was sensational. I think he had 7 intercept marks and 9 spoils to go with his 20-odd possessions, which was in the top couple on the ground as well. So Brian Lake, 5 votes, 4 to Gunston, 3 to our best midfielder, Jordan Lewis on the day, 2 to Birchall, and 1, which I was going to give to Mr. Ballantyne, but I've given it to old man Luke Hodge. Played another great grand final.
Well, we've got the Bardslow night coming up very shortly. Bards, you're obviously waiting for Jaimee Rogers to give you a call back.
You boys want me to ring Jaimee Rogers and see if she's got some friends that could come up as your day?
Jaimee Rogers here.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around.
I think we're fine, Adam, don't you?
I'm more than happy.
Although, I think we might be waiting.
Well, Bards has got to be good for something, big fella.
I've been waiting a long time for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all.
Alright, so we're not going to do any analysis of the game because I think anyone who's a Hawthorn supporter like us has probably watched the replay at least twice, 3 times, 4 times, 6, 7, 9, 10, whatever, and probably going to keep watching it for a long time yet, and then pull out the 2008 Grand Final. So let's talk about the aftermath from the Grand Final, and a few things happened. Retirements. Goo's gone. Mrs. Wedders will be happy with that.
Yeah, she can get stuffed. I love the Goo.
Goo's gone, and I was kind of hoping this one would come because I know we got to get the kids into the team to keep up there. So they've nursed him through the year beautifully. He played about 16 games, played a couple, have a rest, and he said himself in his retirement speech that he was struggling on a Monday. So perfect timing for him. Goes out 2-time premiership hero.
And Max has gone off to Richmond, I read today, and clearly he couldn't get a contract at the ABC TV. He couldn't get rid of Phil Cleary, so he's gone to be some sort of coach down at Richmond.
Yeah, development coach for Max, and I wouldn't be surprised if Clarko had a hand in organising that role for him too. Just an all-round good bloke, and he deserves everything he gets.
And then one of your favourites, Adam, Ozzy, he retired.
Yes, he's going to go down, in my view, as a largely underrated servant of the Hawthorn Football Club. 2008 Premiership player, didn't get many opportunities this year, and they finally caught up with Ozzy, but I think passionate Hawthorn people will understand just how important Michael Osborne was to the Hawthorn Football Club during that rebuild around the time Clarkson took the job. He needed some hard bodies around the ball and guys that were tough at the contest, and Ozzy, one of my favourites, and he gave everything he had for the Hawks.
He was great, and he bookended his career with VFL premierships as well. So
yep.
VFL in 2001, AFL in 08, and another VFL this year. It's a good way to finish his career for him. And yeah, like you said, he was a tough boy when we were accused of being pretty boys, and he made a big difference. Him and Van has made a big difference to that side.
Talking of favourites, one of Clarko's favourites, Ellis, apparently he was seen catching a plane to Perth.
He's undergoing a medical over in Fremantle.
So he'll probably play for us again. Probably won't pass that. He's very stiff, Xavier. His body's just not meant to play AFL footy. And I hope someone else picks him up and he comes good, because his football at his best, he's up there with anyone. We saw that in the 08 Grand Final. And a couple of seasons in between, he's been all right, but he just can't get on the park often enough. And it's time for him to move on from us, and hopefully he does well.
Alright, so we move on. Things happen during the course of the week. The Crimmins medal. Surprise result. Gibbo?
Teared up too, the big Gib. He was pretty happy and very surprised. And look, it's rewarded a bloke who's very consistent. Probably not up there in the best on ground every week, but he obviously got a job that the coaches are giving him every week, and he must have done it 99% of the time, because they've rewarded him with votes in a lot of games.
More spells than anyone else in the AFL over the last 5 years, I'm led to believe.
Did you see my notes on Facebook where my son was telling me when they have kick to kick at the Oval, someone goes to punch, it's known as a Gibbo?
Who's going to punch and kick to kick?
Would have thought it would have been known as a Barry Hall.
You've got to go for the Specky.
You're guilty!
No, the Barry Hall's the one where the kid decks the other kid.
Oh, that's the king hit.
Well, Bards, you've got a lot of explaining to do. Halfway mark in the Bardslow, Gibbo only had 5.
Probably lucky that I gave him 5. I was a bit worried I hadn't given him any.
Problem is, you were keeping all those votes for Spanger.
Yeah, I was just saving them up, so I've given him the Spanger. I don't know, mate. He's one of those players, Gibbo, you probably just don't appreciate how good he is, and the coaches obviously do.
You don't like him, do you, Bards?
I love him.
Yeah.
I don't know, I give votes to blokes who kick goals, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like an umpire. I don't award the key position type. It's all about the midfielders.
5 votes the Crimmins medalist to mid-season. Yeah.
Hey, Bards, but you'll be happy with this. Your favourite Spanger, he would have been glad when Buddy went to Sydney, wouldn't he?
Why, because he's back in the team?
Oh, yeah.
But I think Shoemakers might take his spot, though.
I don't know. It was a good thing that Buddy left, wasn't it? It just makes room for blokes like Spanger and Shoemakers.
I saw the photo of Buddy today, and I think he might have had his Sydney shirt on with Jacinda Campbell sitting on his lap, and not hard to work out why he's moved to Sydney.
You're telling white lies. You're telling white lies. Well, I can see right through that
can't you tell? I can tell when you're telling white lies.
Bullshit. Buddy can go and get stuffed. He can go and get stuffed.
Not a fan of it.
The story's changed every week, every day for that matter. First it was he wanted to get out of the fishbowl. Secondly it was he wanted to take the big contract and Hawthorn were only offering 5 years. And now it's all about being in Sydney and as he says, it's about winning more premierships. You can't tell me he's out of the fishbowl up playing for the Swans. The story's changed every day. The man can go and get stuffed.
I think it's pretty obvious he just wants to live in Sydney and decided he didn't want to be at a shit club, so
he'd go to GWS.
Yeah, that's it. He said that he chose instant success. I thought he had instant success at Hawthorn. He's just won a flag, but obviously he meant in Sydney. But the best part of that whole press conference is he said that the atmosphere at the SCG in round 22 helped convince him that it was a good place to play football.
Not a genius, is he?
Not really. He said the game was played at ANZ Stadium.
Well, given it was round 23 as well.
I hope they start calling play on for that ridiculous arc he takes every time he kicks for goal.
Tell us what you really think.
Stuffy.
We've cleared space. The AFL gave us an option to match a contract that included the 10% cost of living allowance that we weren't allowed to take out before we matched. But be honest, we're never going to try to match that. We'll take their shitty pick. We'll pick up another kid and we'll win some more flags.
Well, talking is clearing the salary cap. Did you find Brad Sewell being traded on the basis of clearing the salary cap as an interesting one?
I think that was just journalists making shit up, to be honest. One, there's no need to clear any salary cap space because we've got plenty of it. And if you believe Graham Wright, and he seems a pretty honest bloke, he said they never put Sewell on the table. A few clubs asked about him. He was never offered up as such, and he expects him to be playing for Hawthorn for a couple more years.
He'd be on the veterans list next season, wouldn't he?
Sewell?
Yeah.
I think he's 30 next year, yeah.
Was it 10 years at the club, you go on the veterans list?
10 years at the club and you've got to be over 30. But all that saves you now is 112,000.
Oh, right, so it's not half salary.
It's not half anymore. You get 112,000 for every player on the veterans list.
Okay.
Well, talking of trades, Jaimee Savage to St Kilda with our number 1 draft pick for McAvoy. What do you think of that one?
I'm happy with it.
Outstanding trade.
Still going to be around the same mark as a 23rd, 24th player. He would have played some games. Obviously, not everyone plays all year. He gets a better opportunity there. You'll play every week. McAvoy comes in and replaces Bailey. 24 years old. He's in the top probably 5 or 6 ruckmen in the comp at his best, and we can get him back to his best. We'll laugh.
Couldn't agree more, Bards. Savage was injury insurance at Hawthorn. He'd be in the top dozen players at St Kilda. We'll probably play every week. We've got an ample replacement in the ruck, and I can't see anything but a win for Hawthorn.
The day that I'm certain my guest at this time will not forget. I'm talking about the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing
means nothing. Man.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. Macho Madness, yeah, has got more to offer than that I got, yeah. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Cards stacked against the Macho Man Randy Savage. Let me say it, yeah. Let me say it out loud. And let me point. The Macho Man Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah. I am the cream, and there is no doubt about it, yeah. You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
If you believe Channel 7, there's an extra pick involved as well. They seem to think that we'll be swinging them the Buddy Compo pick, which will be about 20, and they'll give us back 23. So, going to drop 3 spots, that's enough. And if that's what it took to get a deal done, you do it every time.
Well, the other word around this season too is it's a pretty shallow draft, so outside of the top 10 or dozen picks, everything else is kind of pretty speculative, apparently.
Well, rookie list players, who's going to get elevated? We're going to elevate young Will Langford?
He needs to be elevated or cut, and they're not going to cut him without an opportunity. He's shown enough, so I think he'll get elevated. Obviously, Bosley and Frank have already been cut.
Callahan would get elevated, wouldn't he?
He's on the list.
He's already on the list.
He's still a chance to be traded. Looking for opportunity, apparently. Hopefully we give him a shot. And the other one, Segler, who I imagine they'll keep as a backup ruckman on the rookie list.
And have I heard that they're going to cut Letherland, or is that just a rumour going around?
Purely speculative, I would think. His form towards the end of the year was very good at Box Hill, and he's not an outside chance to play.
You know, Roy, they got rid of Bosley.
Yeah, red hair?
No, because they couldn't find 3 Charlie's Angels.
Have you got a symbol effect you can put in after that?
We're working on that.
I'll tell you, they're also thinking about trading Piopolo to St Kilda, but they're a bit worried that someone might set him on fire.
Bang, you're here all week. Try the veal.
Really, Housey? This is where I've gone, is it?
He's got millions of them.
Talking of Poppy,
Oh,
what about that effort in the last quarter?
Yeah, that was my moment of the grand final.
Yeah, it
Tenacious.
was sensational. And if you get the opportunity, have a look on the Hawks TV website. Check out Hodges' speech from the Peter Crimmins, because at the start of it, there was a video which was referring to what they promise each other they do for each other throughout the season. It's all highlights from the grand final, and it shows every tackle, bump, shepherd, 1%, all that sort of stuff, and it goes a long way to showing why we won. And obviously that Poppy incident was one of those.
Yeah, well, we've got two cold heroes. One's Poppy, the other one's Spanger. Regardless of what anyone thinks, it's great to have them.
That's it. I was really pleased when I saw Spanger out on the ground in his suit, hair everywhere, celebrating with the boys.
Had a bit of Zach Dawson in 08 about it, didn't it? He played well for Hawthorn too.
I got to say, Zach Dawson had a huge influence on Hawthorn winning the grand final.
Jeez, getting out bodied by Jack Gunston like that, hilarious.
What must you thinking when Gunston lined up on Zach Dawson?
All right, gentlemen, well, we've probably crapped on enough, haven't we? And there's a few things we've got to clean up. There'll be end of the trade period and free agency, and we'll be back for the Bardslow as well.
All right, yeah, let's just be happy team at Hawthorn, eh?
All right, well, we're going to sing the song?
No.
All right, go Hawks!
Go Hawks.